What's going on, Fred Army? Fred Army, seriously? You have like no subscribers, yeah? An army is made up of 10,000 plus subscribers. What's going on, YouTube? So yeah, the Fat Red here. How are you supposed to introduce yourself on YouTube these days? It's your boy, Fat Red here. Yeah, no, that doesn't really work for me. Anyway, yeah, it's Fat Red here, aka Jordan Bottom of the Wetham. There is no of the in between bottom and Wetham. It's just a hyphen, like a dash thing. Bottom Wetham. Anyway, so I decided to start vlogging my life's events from 2 weeks out from my next bodybuilding show on the 21st of April 2018. I haven't competed since 2014, where I did okay, but I did things a little differently at time, and it didn't work out to my favour. I still did pretty well though, which is kind of good because it means I almost don't have to try it, I can still win. So that's good. Like it, it kind of tells me that I've got a natural knack for the sport of competitive bodybuilding. Yeah, you didn't throw that in there at the beginning, so maybe give your viewers a bit more of an insight into what you're actually talking about, you rambling red. Yeah, so I want to give you guys a bit of an insight as to why I decided to start doing this. One is I've always wanted to start vlogging, but I've had a bit of a chip on my shoulder about the whole social media thing. So it's taken me a little bit of time to get over my own ego, my own chip, just like actually get on with it and just record my life. A big reason for this is I had a really close friend of mine pass away recently, and it put some things in perspective, and made me realize like if I get to the end of, I don't want to get to the end of my life and like not have anything to show for it. And I'm not saying that having a massive fan base on YouTube or Instagram or whatever is going to be something to show for it. But in today's world, it is really quite a cool way to actually document your life and keep like a photo album. I think where the chip on my shoulder came from is because I've seen my parents grow up with literal photo albums, and the reason they would take photos back in the day was to keep memories, of good times. Whereas today, it's sort of taking a photo sort of feels more like it's about, trying to get likes and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess I kind of had a bit of a chip on my shoulder about it. But that's my own responsibility, my own doing. So yeah, I'm back here, reinventing myself, to give you guys a little bit of history as to where I am, where I've come from. In particular, over the last 12 months. Last 12 months or so, I was living in Fiji. I had moved over there to follow my dreams to set up a strength academy there. My parents live over there, and I'd always wanted to set up a strength academy over there. Well, at least I thought I did. And I went over there and we tried to get it done, and yeah, turns out it wasn't all we cracked up, all that spit it out. It wasn't what we had really planned for us. So yeah, but it was good because it pulled us out of the big city life of Sydney. It gave us some much needed perspective, and so we came back to the city and we're like, oh my god, this is the best country in the world. Whereas before I was like, man, fucking Sydney, the system and concrete jungle and people just, cutthroat and all sorts of excuses. So I got some much needed perspective. While I was over there, fun fact, I was the president of the Fiji Bodybuilding Federation. So I've been a strength coach for the past 9 years, and competing in bodybuilding for more or less that time as well. And so, I wanted to go over there and help change the health of that country, because something like 1 in 3 people over there have diabetes or some form of an NCD, non-communicable disease, and it's pretty bad. And it's just really down to lack of education and action. Always, they're the 2 biggest culprits. Lack of knowledge and lack of application. So I wanted to go over there and change that. But I got there and I kind of fell into the too hard basket. And what I came to realize was that the only reason it became too hard was because it wasn't actually what I really wanted to do, right? Because at the end of the day, like, if it's something that you really want to do, it doesn't matter how fucking hard it is, you'll find a way to get it done, right? Perfect example, competitive bodybuilding. So that brings me to my next point, and kind of why I came back is because I realized how much I miss bodybuilding, and in particular competing. So here I am, 2 weeks out. I am due to step on stage. Done things quite differently around this time. I'm going to update you on that in a later video. This is sort of more of an intro. And yeah, I wanted to give you guys a bit of an idea as to what you can expect. So I've done a lot of introspection on myself over the last 16 to 24 months, even 3 years really, to really try and understand, my place here and what I can actually bring to the world, and I guess how I can actually, live a life that I really enjoy. And I tried being like the online trainer because, one of my favorite things to do is travel, right? I want to be able to travel, and obviously you need money to be able to do that. And I also love competing in bodybuilding and training and eating. So not exactly a cheap lifestyle, right? So I thought, oh yeah, cool, I'll just be an online trainer and that'll solve my problems. And what I found was that when I mixed business with pleasure, for me personally, the line became very blurry, and I struggled to actually disconnect. I struggled to actually be authentic because I always had this underlining tone of like every person I spoke to about health and fitness was, or eating or something was, there was always in the back of my mind like, oh, how can I get money out of this person, And yeah, I know it's fucking seedy, but I don't know, I just couldn't shake it. So yeah, so it took me some time. I had to step away from it, just focus on my bodybuilding for a bit, and here I am, 2 weeks out, ready to start vlogging. So you're going to start seeing some videos of me training, get some insights into how one Fat Red does train. I think you'll enjoy a lot of that stuff. It is quite unique, quite different to probably what a lot of people, how a lot of people train. I'll give you guys some insights and who knows, maybe some tips if you're lucky as well. Also, the feeds and fits of a Fat Red as well. A little bit of history on the Fat Red, by the way. Firstly, I have red hair. Not really red though, is it? I mean, it's more auburn, yeah? So, when I was young, I was actually really quite fat, freckly, and my hair was a lot brighter, and I wasn't as delicious looking as I am now. So, naturally, I was a perfect target for bullying, so I got bullied quite a lot, and called a Fat Red. Explains why you excelled in bodybuilding a bit, I reckon. Yeah, it does actually. So, yeah, I've taken up bodybuilding, and I've done quite well, and am striving to attain my pro card as a natural bodybuilder. No one cares if you're natural or not, Jordan. Yeah? It's the age-old tale. Is he on steroids? Is he not on steroids? Is he on steroids? Is he not on steroids? It's an example of one of the fits that I will have from time to time. But yes, I am a natural bodybuilder. Look, as I said, it is an age-old thing. You guys might see some pictures of me, be like, oh, you're a fucking natural, or whatever. Like, everyone's got their own asshole. Let's just have a sniff of everyone else's and respect it, I guess. Asshole, by the way, means opinion. Yeah, not like an actual orifice in your butt crack that I'm gonna sniff. Yeah, so this channel and all my stuff is going to be devoted to all the things that I love doing. Training, traveling, eating. Oh yeah, and competing. I love to fucking eat. That's why I was a Fat Red. And it's really more or less why I train now, so I don't become a Fat Red. However, I've reclaimed the identity of the Fat Red to prove the naysayers wrong. The naysayers up here, mostly. Because that's really where they are. One of the things you'll find with a lot of the stuff that I do as well, guys, is I can go really deep. Like, really deep. And I can ramble quite a bit. So if you enjoy rambling, if you enjoy going deep, if you enjoy exploring different rabbit holes and, theories of the universe and shit like that, you enjoy eating monstrous amounts of foods and delicious foods and all sorts of foods, if you enjoy aggressive, or spit it out, if you enjoy humorous aggressiveness, then stick around for some of that as well. Me and the boys sometimes get on some pretty solid rants as well. Hopefully I'll catch some of that on camera. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it from me, guys. Hope you enjoy what is to come. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to turn the notification buttons on. Is it this way? Fuck. The bell thing. Where I'm used to asking for that sort of stuff. But yeah, I've come to realize that people who do have a fairly significant following do constantly ask for that. Ask and ye shall receive. Yeah? Anyway, that's me for now. Where we're at today, I'm actually doing a mock carb up / peak week for my show in 2 weeks. So today is supposed to be game day. So yeah, rest of this video is going to be compilation of things that I'm doing. I'll record, what I've actually done over the last 24, 48 hours, and then put some posing in, and we'll see how we go. Just tried something last week that didn't work very well. This week's worked pretty well. Yeah, we'll just see how we go. All right. Hope you enjoy, guys. Got any comments, questions, queries, quotations, last words? Feel free to drop them below. Otherwise, I shall see you in the next video. What's going on, Freds? So, are they Freds yet? Do you have enough subscribers to call them Freds? They're people who are tuning into your channel. Yeah. So now, it's about 9:12, 9:11, and this is the plan. I don't have an on-stage time yet for my show, so I'm just sort of banking off about a 1 p.m. stage time. So what I've done is I've carved up Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, cut carbs from about midday, kept the water real high, like about 10 litres. It's about 2 of these fuckers. On both Thursday and Friday, stopped drinking from 8 p.m. Just protein and fats from about midday onwards on the Friday, and then on Saturday morning, every 2 hours from 5 a.m. I'm just having about 30 odd grams of carbs, about 20 odd grams of fat, and a little bit of protein. I'm not really measuring it. I'm just sort of, I've done that in the past and it just sort of does my head in, so I'm kind of just more listening to my body, and things are feeling good now. If anything, I feel like I probably could have carved up a little bit more. Traditionally I've done a bit more of a front load, like load them earlier in the week and then taper off towards the end of the week. But I always reckon you're better off coming in just a little bit flat so you can maintain that crisp condition. And you can always get a pump up backstage and stuff. Anyway, so by the way, if you hear some like heroic music in the background, that's the theme song from StarCraft. I'm a mad StarCraft fan. I'm also a mad coffee fiend. If you're in Australia, this is the best coffee money can buy. The Killer Coffee Co. Just straight up coffee. If you're talking about like unique coffee blends that have got like nootropics infused with them, best one you can get is Chimera coffee. It's not an Australian brand though. You can get it from Optimize. Cheeky little plug in there. I actually don't get any affiliation commission there. Actually probably look into that. This is their dark side roast. It's a bit of a darker roast. It's not bad. I prefer the other one. It's got like probably 3 times, like both of these blends have, this is just roasted longer, so it's a little bit richer tasting. But they've both, just spit it out. Got like 3 times the normal caffeine content of normal coffee. But the taste is sensational.
Put your head back in the frame, yeah? Learn to shoot yourself properly on camera.
Since 8 last night. Yeah, feeling good. Looking pretty good. The camera, I don't know if you can really see anything there. You probably can't really see anything. See how we go with this. pitch in on that one. For the membership area only. It's a nice day, and I typically don't do well on carbs. Actually, most of my diet is the interesting thing. Prep, I did things completely against the grain of what every other bodybuilder will probably do. Not physique competitors or fitness competitors. I find a lot of them tend to do like if it fits your macros and stuff. You know, hardcore bodybuilders only do chicken and broccoli 6 times a day and whatever. But no, what I've been doing is I've actually been fasting. So I don't eat until about 5 p.m. And when I do, I hit about 2,000 calories, which isn't that much. I typically like to eat a lot more, but it was a little bit of a rush prep, so I was like, okay, fuck it. Yeah, so 2,000 calories and more of a keto-based diet, I guess you could say. I don't really like to give diets labels, you know, like it's just a fucking way of eating. And I think when people start to attach labels to it, they get too emotionally invested in it, and then it's enough water. Yeah, so you know, but I do find that I function better on more of a fat and protein based diet. Like even in the gym, this is the weird thing. Like last week, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna change this shit up and see how I go. So I basically pretty much cut all fat out, which is where I think I went wrong. So I didn't have any added fat. It was all just protein and carbohydrates. I went up to about 500 grams of carbs for 2 days. So 1,000 grams of carbs over those 2 days, and you know, about 200, 250 grams of protein, probably about 50, 60 grams of fat. And I felt like shit. Like I was so lethargic, a lot more moody, which is ironic because, you know, traditionally everyone's like, oh, you got to eat 3 hours, otherwise you go catabolic and you'll get, you know, cortisol levels jack up and da 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 da. What I've found is since, you know, doing fasting and more of a keto-based diet in the afternoon, is that I actually feel really fucking good. And not only that, but yeah, you can be a little bit lazy with it. Like, I don't have to prep meals, and when I come home, I'm fucking starving. So I've also got a really deep sense of gratitude for the food that I'm about to eat. And it's also a good chance to connect with my girlfriend. You know, we can sit down, we can eat. And I've been making some fucking awesome meals, man, like homemade keto-style pizza, you know, like smoked salmon and eggs, and capers, bacon and eggs, like a whole bunch of things that traditionally you wouldn't see on a bodybuilder's diet. And man, it's been working pretty good. But you know, some of you might be watching this and going like, oh, that's not bodybuilding or whatever. 2 weeks from today, let's see what the results say. Yeah, so anyway, back to today. I'm just brewing a coffee now because coffee is life. And yeah, I kind of want to see how that reacts, the response it gives my body, like if it dries me out, if it flattens me out too much. It's a fucking grenade, yeah? It's so cool. Because I love coffee, it makes me feel really good. So, you know, I'd like to feel good going on stage. And again, because I've been carving up all day, sort of like going in and out. And I don't really like doing it because it makes me feel that way. And it makes me fucking hungry. Like once I'm eating, I'm just like, in 30 minutes, I'm like, oh my God, where's the sugar, you know? So, back to my show day protocol. About 5, 6 rice cakes with peanut butter and a little bit of chicken or pork or something. Never ceases to amaze me how tasty a piece of cardboard can taste after 10 weeks of dieting. It's good. Every 2 hours, not adding any salt just yet. Every 2 hours from 5 a.m. At 11 a.m., I'm going to go up to Subway. I'm going to get a foot-long meatball sub. I'm looking forward to that. This is assuming a 1 p.m. stage time. Then at 12, I will have half a block of dark chocolate. 12:15, have another half of the other half of that block. I'll start sipping on Gatorade. I will do some pumping up, just gently. And I will also have some vegetable glycerin. This is a new thing that I've actually just come across. This is like a sickly sweet fluid, but the idea is that it's a plasma expander. So whatever water is in your body, it will pull into the vascular system. The idea trying to make you more fuller and vascular, help you get that pump more. So yeah, so I'll check back with you guys. I will also link in the video of me posing. Be warned though, I am very pacey at the moment. So yeah, might want to fast forward through that bit. See you in the next one. Fuck. Good old StarCraft. I tell you, sometimes before I go to the gym, I actually listen to the StarCraft soundtrack.
Gimp! Yeah?
Just, I don't know, man. It just gets me pumped up, hey?
Does it? Cheers for the tip.
Different strokes for different folks. This game has had such an impact on the world of gaming. Like, I mean, I'm not even that much of a gamer. I don't even really like to play like against other people, but I just get my ass handed to me. But I just really enjoy games with a fucking like a solid storyline. Like another good one's God of War. Played that one. Fuck, it's such a good game. Just really good story. You know. Again, I'm not into like the whole like sitting down with a headpiece on playing fucking Call of Duty and getting angry at somebody on the other side of the world through a computer screen. Yeah. Anyway, just thought I'd share my thoughts on that. Did you? Did you really? Thanks, Jordan. Yeah? So to give you a bit of a sort of a life update, I've been in a bit of a transitional phase. As I mentioned earlier, I spent the last 12, 14 months in Fiji trying to get stuff going on there. And I came to realise that I didn't really want to do it in the end. Anyway, so we came back to Sydney about just over 2 months ago. Realised how fucking great this city is. But we sort of like stepped back for the last 6 years or so. I've kind of been trying to, the entrepreneurial journey, doing a whole bunch of different things and not having much success with it. Oh, whatever. So yeah, I just sometimes when you keep banging your head against the wall, I just needed to stop banging my head against the wall for a little bit. Anyway, so I just step back, focus on my bodybuilding, just do some grunt work, just to make some decent money to do the things that I want to do and not take work home. So I was sitting here one day and I was going, what is it that I actually wanted to do when I was 7 years old? And I wanted to be a firefighter. Like that was my childhood dream. Now, since leaving school in 2007, I applied for the New South Wales Fire Brigade 6 times. And 6 times I've been pushed back. It's incredibly competitive. They take something like 6,000 applicants for an average of 20 positions every year. So, check them out. They're not hiring. La-di-da. But I remembered that the aviation firefighters also have positions. And so I jumped online to see when they're hiring, and sure enough, they're hiring the next day. This is when I checked it out. So I put my application in, and so got the email. I'm going to actually try and improve my chances of success with it, and take advantage of the added brain power. Always tastes so much better after rice cakes and peanut butter for some reason, and dry chicken. So this is where I've always gone wrong. So check this out. Like these, I don't even know. Can you see? Yeah, fucking like oh, it'll be backwards, eh? Whatever. Probably get the idea anyway. It's like verbal reasoning tests and numerical reasoning and all this stuff that's just like you sit here and you answer these questions and you go, what the fuck does that have to do with saving someone's life? Like it'll be something like apple is to tree as vinaigrette is to, and you've got to figure out the blank spot, or they've got those boxes with the little fucking shapes and shit in them. You got to figure out what the next one is. It's like, what? But obviously these things have been formulated from psychiatrists and psychologists and whatever, and scientists and all that stuff. So yeah, because this is. If history is anything to go by, this is where I always go wrong. I never make it past the online assessments. Having said that, when I applied for the army, I passed, and they actually offered me a job. thankfully I actually got my wits about me and politely declined. So anyway, I'm going to get cracking on some of these tests and let's see how we go. Okay, so you have 19 minutes to complete the test. If you lose your connection, the test will restart where you left off. Fair enough. You will not have an opportunity to review questions at the end of the test. How do I know where I went wrong? Whatever. Let's get into it. Coffee, don't fail me now. A UN report has warned of the potential problems of global warming. If the production of greenhouse gases continues at the current rate, this will result in the melting of ice sheets in Greenland and the Antarctic. The consequences of this will be rising sea levels, which will endanger 145 million people and not a single person more. In response to the problem, the report observes the need for an immediate international agreement on reducing emissions. Reducing emissions will help to slow down the progress of global warming. True, false, or cannot say. The report observes the need for an immediate international agreement. Reducing emissions will help slow down the progress. I did this recently and I said cannot say because it doesn't, definitively point out that you cannot say, but I don't know, I'm going to go for true this time. A report from a prestigious university has urged the world's richest countries to consider the precarious position of bird species from around the world. The study suggests that acting now could ensure the survival. What does this have to do with saving people's lives from a burning fire? Yeah? 100 species of land birds that are at risk because of the action of humans. The report pays particular attention to the dangers faced by those species which are highly specialised and may not be able to adapt to changes in their environment. Richer countries currently have little awareness of the dangers faced by bird species around the world and tend to concentrate on the preservation of local species instead. The report's main focus is on bird species located in third world countries. I didn't say anything about that. Stop trying to trick me. The newly developed process of creating artificial skin may be useful for treating birds and wounds. The part that fucks me up is they always put cannot say as an option. And in my mind, because I can pretty much, find an argument for and against anything, I always want to go for cannot say, but yeah. I find it really hard to concentrate, I think, because I've had these carbs in my system. It's one of the things I really enjoy about keto and fasting is that because you don't have food in your stomach, your body stays in a sympathetic... Here we go with the big fucking scientific words again, Jordo. Body stays in a sympathetic state, so it's like in a constant fight or flight mode. So your body's always releasing a bit of adrenaline, and what I've come to learn about myself, my body, my driving neurotransmitter is adrenaline, meaning that my baseline levels of it are very low, so I'm very, very sensitive to it, and it's also a motivating thing for me. I've got to be careful of that though, because if I get too addicted to it, I can easily burn it out. So since learning this fairly recently, I'm actually a lot better at managing it and understanding that, okay, I need to train in a certain way, I need to eat a certain way, I need to arrange my lifestyle in a certain way, but I also need to make sure that because I like to push shit, man. I like to go above and beyond, but I've got to be wary that I maintain a balance. So if I go above and beyond one way, I've got to go above and beyond the other way, right? So 43 seconds, 5 questions to go, 20 seconds to go, 2 questions. No studies prove that consuming large amounts of sugar cause coronary heart disease. There is no correlation between the overconsumption of sugar and coronary heart disease. Well, I've got to say yes, but we all know that's bullshit. 2 seconds, 1 question, no! Fuck. Missed it. Oh well. Let's see how we went. N-A. It's 11 o'clock yet. Need more food. Got to train today as well. I usually like training. Funny thing as well, like I train fasted and with virtually no carbs in the system, my endurance and the pumps are fucking awesome. When I put carbs in there, man, I can't get a pump. I'm lethargic and just didn't do too well on that one. 53%. Worse than my last one. Oh well. Alright, well, I think that's about enough of the testing stuff for you guys today. Check back in when I'm sitting down, stuffing my face with a meat-long football sub. A foot-long meatball sub. Stay tuned. Alrighty then, time to head up to Subway. Fuck, nice day outside. I better change my pants. I got my Juji pants on at the moment. You can tell because I got the little ammonia ampule pocket there, and of course the Juji Muvu logo. If you haven't gotten any of these pants, definitely check them out. You can get them from his website, Acrobolics. Another cheeky little plug in there. Again, absolutely no commissions that I get. I just fucking love big baggy pants that feels like you're kind of wearing a cloud. Yeah, really quite good. Breathable. It's heaps of movement. I mean, if you guys are familiar with Juji Mufu, the guy does weighted chair splits with 60 kilos above his head wearing these pants. So yeah, they're durable, really comfortable. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to change though because it's a bit warm outside. Put some shorts on, take a stroll up to Subway and feed my face hole. Okay, so we're back at last. Took me fucking every ounce of willpower to not just sit on the side of the road and eat in the Subway. I mean, I could have just fucking sat in the restaurant and eaten it, but then I wouldn't have been able to film it. Well, I would have, but yeah. Too self-conscious at this point, like, you know, to be filming myself eating food as one fat red, yeah? So I thought I'd come home and stuff my face in peace and quiet. Yeah, gonna dig into this and see what the cows do. The cow. Fucking idiot. Oh my god. It's funny, like, I mean, have you, fuck is that? Oh, pepper. If ever you've dieted for a bodybuilding show, you know that, like, even some of the most tasteless things become so tasty. Like, I'm not really a big fan of fast food, like Macca's, KFC, Subway. Doesn't do it for me. If I'm gonna get a burger, I'm gonna go to like a, you know, an actual burger restaurant, like BL Burgers. Get the Blame Canada, or 4 or 5 of them. Best burger in Sydney. A lot of other good places as well, but yeah, this tastes fucking amazing. So the idea is to reintroduce a fairly hefty dose of sodium, fat, carbs about 2 hours before stepping on stage. Tossing up between pizza and this, and you know, I spoke to a mate of mine whose opinion I really respect and helped me with the last time I looked my best. We sort of collaborated together and came up with a pretty good combo. So got his opinion, and he recommended the sub as well, and I think it's probably a safer bet. Like, pizza could really bloat me out. Like, obviously don't want to be standing on stage looking like a true fat red. Yeah, so gonna be going to pizza the night of the show to celebrate my victory anyway. Gonna go to the best pizza restaurant in Sydney, Via Napoli, down in Lane Cove. There's a few of them, but the one in Lane Cove is the best. The guys there are just fucking awesome, like, make you feel really welcome, and put on the best spread. I'm actually a little reluctant to eat in there because, you know, they get really busy, and so it takes a bit of time for the food to come out. Usually my girl and I rock up, we order our pizza. It's usually a 1/2 meter long 4-cheese pizza. I'll be getting a meter long this time though, don't worry, I'll film that shit. And because it's like ordered then take away, it's made in literally about 2 minutes. And as soon as we get it, we just go to the car and we'll sit there and devour it, like, right then and there. So yeah, anyway, we'll be doing that, just not in the car. Depends. If we get a lot of people coming, we might, you know, do a dinner thing, but otherwise I might just stuff my face in peace and quiet and let that cheese just dribble all over me. Cheese. I've actually got to pee. Legs. Don't worry, I washed my hands. Sort of. No, I did. I washed my hands. Fucking dirty bastard. By the way, have you read this book? Really fucking good book. It's not a book per se, it's just like a little sort of life manual that you can turn to every day for, you know, a little spurt of inspiration. Or look, on the topic of affirmations and, you know, positivity and all that sort of stuff, I'll probably do its own video one day and put it under the Rants of a Red playlist. Already got plans for it. I sort of become a little bit facetious, a bit cynical about those sort of things. But it's, I mean, you know, everything comes down to your individual perspective of it, right? So I've decided to change my perspective of it. And instead of thinking of it as like a, you know, it's a positivity thing to boost your Instagram following or whatever, I'm more using this as like it's like a magnetic pole, if you like. So every day I wake up and just read something and, you know, just to help remind you of certain traits and characteristics that you really need to embody on the path to whatever goal it is that you're pursuing. Especially when diet brain kicks in, man. Like when diet brain kicks in, you become a lot more vulnerable to your ego taking over, because your ego is really a survival mechanism. And when you're dieting hard, like you're actually kind of threatening your own survival, right? So your ego can easily hijack it. Again, leave that for another in-depth rant someday. So having little spouts of, or having little inputs, or just little reminders of your true north can help, you know. So here's one. I'm pretty sure I've read every single one of these at least twice anyway, but here's one. Give your confidence a boost. Often people are so busy concentrating on what they need to improve about themselves, they forget to consider all the things they are already getting right. Make a list of all your good qualities, the things that you are proud of and the successes you have had in life, and give your confidence a boost by focusing on what's great about you. And that's a really good one, you know, because especially in today's world with the whole like personal development thing and, you know, live up to your potential and, you know, all that sort of stuff. Life coaches, fuck, don't even get me started on that. Like, all that sort of stuff, if you're not careful, if you're not aware of it, a lot of it can kind of plant this idea in your mind that you aren't actually living up to your potential, that there's always something wrong, that you're never actually quite fulfilled. It's ironic though, because they will say that the key to fulfillment is to like be grateful for what you have, you know, but then they sell you into their courses by saying things like, I'll show you how to become more grateful for what you have and therefore more fulfilled and all that sort of stuff. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, it doesn't have its application. Some people get benefits from it. I personally don't. And, you know, it's taken me about 6 years in studying a lot of people, and you know what? It's really studying who I call like the dumbasses. And I don't mean like that they're actually dumb. I just mean that they're people who don't actually go out and do a lot of the personal development and all that sort of stuff. They just sort of listen to their intuition and they do. They take action. That's, you know, to bash around another cliche, take action. And, you know, I keep thinking back to when I first got into bodybuilding, and like I didn't really, I mean, yeah, I learned about, you know, calories in, calories out, tempo, tension, all that sort of stuff, but it was more about following my heart and what I really enjoyed about it. And recently I've come back to doing that. I've kind of disconnected from my head, you know, forgotten, like tried to forget what I know and kind of listen to what I feel to be right for me. And it's just worked an absolute treat. Not only has it improved my look, I feel I'll be bringing my best look to the stage yet, but just the enjoyment factor, you know, and getting back to being happy and enjoying my life. So yeah, really good one this, you know, because so often those sorts of things, especially if you are like me, like most humans I think, and do find yourself caught up in the comparison game, you know, especially in today's world of social media, always making sure that you measure up to the other people in your tribe and all that sort of stuff, you can start to think that you're not worthy, you know. So yeah, fucking oath, give your confidence a boost. They usually couple it with a quote saying, this one says, "There is but one cause of human failure, and that is man's lack of faith in his true self." William James. I don't think a truer word has ever been spoken. Good old Bill. Yeah, so take from that what you will, you know, like give your confidence a boost. Like instead of focusing on all the things that you don't have, focus on what you do have, what makes you you, what makes you really unique and cool, and be grateful for that. And then eat a meatball sub. Life is good. question you about doing mock peak weeks. You know you're going to have to stop the eating at some stage. I didn't actually plan on getting this. Truth be told, the cookie actually jumped in the bag and found its way into my hand. I mean, I don't even think I paid for it. Oh, fuck. I'll give you a bit more of an in-depth commentary when I'm going through my posing and stuff, but there's a couple of key things I think you should look out for when you're trying to decide on whether you're full or not, you know, like whether you've carved up enough. I think probably the best thing, the first thing you should be looking out for is how do you feel? How do your joints and stuff feel? So, for instance, like when you flare your lats, do they feel, you know, chunky? Like, I know I'm full because when my lats feel like I literally have wings, like I could fly to the fucking venue, right? My knees feel good as well, like they feel padded, especially if you are doing a lower carb diet, or more importantly, if you're not drinking enough water, your joints will kind of dry out and you'll start to feel like they're not padded. So one of the ways of knowing that you're full is that stuff starts to actually feel full. Yeah, it feels swollen. Okay, so that's one way. The reason I say think about that one first is because the way you look in the mirror there's too many variables to determine. The two big ones are probably heat, like your own body heat, and the lighting, you know, most obvious one. Heat's a big one though, because if you're cold, like your muscles won't stand out, and more importantly, you won't be vascular, you won't be hard. Whereas if you're warm, borderline hot, then you're gonna look, you know, hard as nails. So yeah. Anyway, back to my cookie. This is a bad move. Huh? How funny is this? I've never really read the back of this book, but it starts off by saying, "Have you ever felt you were not living up to your full potential?" How ironic. I guess. Looking pretty vascular. Now I'll show you my other leg. This one's kind of got the striations going. There you go. Hey, stop looking up my pants. Anyway. Right, and now I am here lying on the ground with my feet up. Few reasons for this. Thursday, I was training back, and I've had a bit of a history of lower back issues, but it was getting good. Like I was actually squatting again, and just started doing some Romanian deadlifts and rack pulls again, which I hadn't done for a long time. And I think I just, you know, I got a bit too giddy and overdid the extension work, and my back's a little bit fucked. So yeah, all good though. Just been hammering the yoga, which if you're a competitive bodybuilder, you should definitely be doing on the regular. Very good for you. But also, I'm trying to replicate the conditions that I'll be exposed to and what I want to do on the show day as close as possible. So I've turned the aircon on because, you know, it'll be in a big air-conditioned venue, and that will change things because it will slow down your core temperature. Slow down your core temperature, cool down your core temperature. What about lower your core temperature, Jordan? Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I've really got to get my England in order. England! Anyway, so yeah, I got my feet elevated. You know, when you're this lean, like all those little bro sciencey things can actually make a bit of a difference. Like I always notice when I've been lying down, when I go to get up, my legs look a lot harder and vascular. Now, will it make that much of a difference? Because, you know, obviously you'll be standing up for a while, you'll be pumping up for half an hour, then you'll be on stage. So you'll be standing for probably half an hour, 45 minutes before you get in front of the judges. So is it going to make that much of a difference? Fuck, who knows? That's why I'm trialing it now, right? So always try and get yourself ready 2 to 4 weeks before the show, you know, which is possible. Just depends on how much you're willing to suffer. And then you can play around with these sorts of things. So here I am, lying down, chilling out. Also, I've got a bit of a sugar fucking high right now. So, yeah, I'm just gonna chill out, play some StarCraft. I should probably do something constructive, but building a base and killing the Zerg forces, that's constructive, right? So yeah, just chill out and see how it goes. I got about it's been about 10 minutes since I ate, so I'm gonna give it about another 50, 45 minutes until I get up and sort of start pumping up and eating some more goodness. And yeah,
Still down. I don't like this.
Matt, pull us alongside and prep docking tubes.
Commander, this is not a smart move.
God, I love Terrans, eh? Look at that suit, man. It's so badass. Such a good storyline. Here we go. Continue. See shit, yeah? Bang. Wait. Fucking. Tychus Finley. Bang.
Alright, what's going on, Fred fans? Fred fans. Almost sounds like Bread Fan. You know that Metallica song? Anyway, moving on. So here we go, doing some pasty as fuck posing in the kitchen. I'm actually pretty happy with my shape here. And yeah, my size. The only thing is the crispness and the lack of vascularity. I do believe I overpumped. So yeah, I'm going to take that into consideration when I go to do my next carb up. But I'm actually really quite pleased with where I'm at. I notice a significant difference in the roundness of my muscle bellies and stuff. You know, from being depleted to being carved up, which is pretty understandable. Yeah, so as we go through here, you'll see firstly that I am incredibly pasty. Apologies for that, don't worry, I will be getting tanned before I step on stage. And you'll also probably notice me do a fair bit of posing with my eyes closed, and that's because I want to get an idea of how my body feels in that certain position before I naturally look towards the camera to see myself posing. These are actually two pretty decent poses for me. The lat spread's never really been a strong pose for me, but I've made some good improvements on my delts, which I'm pretty proud of, so it's actually sort of brought it up. Doing my best Kevin Lavergne impression there. It's another pretty strong pose, I believe, from the side, mainly from the separation through the legs. My chest has never really been that massive. Side tricep was another good one. Look, let's be honest, they're all pretty good for me, aren't they? I'm undecided as to what I'll do with my hair. I know I'm going to keep the length. I'm just wondering what sort of style I should put it in. You guys got any opinions or thoughts or tips that I should heed? Feel free to drop them in the comments below. The other thing I do is touch my bum a lot. Yeah, so I'm actually just trying to make sure that my glutes are there. So my back poses, my lat spread's probably my weakest pose, I'd say, because I don't have a large amount of thickness through my back or width. Working on that. And traditionally my back double bicep has actually been my strongest pose because of the detail and separation that comes through my back, but I reckon it's actually sunk down on the levels of strong poses, because you can see there my left lat actually doesn't stick out as much as my right, and that's partly due to some neural issues and a bit of spinal damage I've got going on around my thoracic spine. So yeah, but you know, whatevs. Hopefully I'll fix that with a few good quality massages this week. Oh, abdominals and thighs. Abdominals. It's a sort of a signature pose for me. And then of course into the crab most muscular. I actually think that's quite a decent pose for me. Like, my traps and delts aren't really strong, but in that pose they kind of come out and look pretty decent. Don't know if you noticed there, but I actually hit my hand on the tabletop. It actually kind of hurt, but yeah. Just doing some random stuff here, not really trying anything in particular. And then yeah, figured I'd go through a second round. One of the things about competitive bodybuilding is that you've really got to condition yourself for the posing. The last thing you want to be doing is, be one of those guys who gets on stage and can't hold his poses, shaking a lot, starts sweating. And that's actually another thing I noticed, that if I pump up too much, I get too much adrenaline pumping through me, and my ability to hold my poses really suffers. And yeah, I start shaking and sweating and all sorts of things. So I'm going to take as I said, I'm going to take the pump up a little bit more gentle, and yeah, a bit more conservative. Nice to see the glutes filling out from the carve up. And yes, by the way, that is glitter on my posing trunks. So what? Come at me, bro. Standing at about 89, 90 kilos here. So yeah, like I said, I'm pretty happy with my shape and my size. Conditioning wise, again, I'm pretty happy with that too, given that I've only been dieting for about 8 weeks here. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked with it. And given that I've done everything against the grain of traditional bodybuilding, I've fasted every day, eating only 2,000 calories, eating no carbs. It's quite interesting. Going on paper, I have every reason to look like an emaciated Holocaust victim, but oh god, a little bit heavy, Jordan. Yeah, no, sorry. Look, like just emaciated, really. Oh god, I'm gonna get out of that one, am I? But yeah, I'm actually quite happy with how I've kept my look. I do believe that if you're training hard and heavy and you still got that stimulus for your body to maintain a good solid amount of muscle, well, it's going to be very hard for you to catabolize muscle. I think a lot of bodybuilders for the most part get way too paranoid about, if I don't eat every 3 hours I'm going to lose muscle. And how hard it is for your body to build muscle. Once you've got it, it's not going to let it go without a fight, really. Unless you're under extreme circumstances where you're not eating at all for a period of time. Yeah, I don't think it's not going to happen by accident, put it that way. Alright, I'm going to shut up now and let you guys enjoy the last little bits of this. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Oh, by the way, if you guys do want to come and see me on stage, actually see this rig with a bit of colour on it, I'll be competing down at the Sydney Fitness Expo at the ICN, I Compete Natural, which was formerly the INBA. And what's with the belly rolling, you fat red? Yeah, and going for my pro card there. So it'll be the first time I competed in 4 years. Pretty excited for it. If you guys want to come down, check it out, give us a bit of a shout out from the crowd. Love to see you down there. It's on the 21st of April, by the way, so 2 weeks from, well, the day of this video, actually.
Fuck, that's hard work, that. Forgotten. Especially after you've been pumping up. We shall review, stitch it together, see how it looks, make adjustments accordingly. Well, here we are on the cardio train. So I agreed to meet the girly whirly for burgers and a bit of sushi because I'm practicing this carb up theory. Gotta love the justification your brain comes up with as to why you should go and have a cheat meal 2 weeks out from a bodybuilding competition, right? Anyway, and I was hoping to get a meal in before I saw her because I didn't want to, I didn't want to like over splurge, but I spent the last hour like ogling at Instagram and I was gonna eat, but yeah, she said she was on her way, so I was like, okay, fuck it. So I decided to walk up, but man, fuck, tell you what, carbs suck. Like, they're such a preferred fuel source that if you don't get them every 2-3 hours, your body starts freaking out. So, you know, like, I've been carving up and you'd think that I'd be stocked up, but after 2-3 hours, my blood sugars drop, my brain's like, get some carbs in you. So yeah, and I just feel sluggish, so, yeah, that's not to say carbs are bad. They can be strategically used to your advantage and should be, as should fat, as should protein. But I definitely do prefer more of a protein fat-based type. What a nice day, check it out. It's a nice part of the neighbourhood. So, just en route to Royal Stacks at Chatswood. Yeah, I went there once and I wasn't too impressed with it, but you know, I don't know, call it my diet brain and just ogling at Instagram photos of it, or I don't know. I'm willing to give it another shot, and I've seen some custom burgers that have been made through the Burger Collective. Follow this guy called Ferris Burger's Day Off, and the guy seems to have quite a following. So I'm going to take the man's advice and go up there and yeah, see what it's all about, see if they can redeem themselves. So check in with you guys when we get there. So this just happened. Saw a sushi place and thought we'd stop here. This is the girly whirly, by the way. I'm starting to vlog.
Oh, you're starting to vlog.
Yeah, so yeah. She didn't know. Put her on the spot. So yeah, I thought I'd start with some sushi so that I didn't go too over the top at burgers. But anyway, check back in when we've got a burger in hand. It's gonna be fun. Not really sure what I've ordered here, but it's got a bit of everything on it. Mac and cheese croquette, fried chicken, beef, bacon, cheese, bread, cheese.
I'm smiling.
I need to like dislocate my jaw. Carb loading, right? Alright, well, the shenanigans are over. I think I may have spilled over just a little bit. A lot of it, yeah? You're fat and you're red, yeah? But we'll see how things turn out. Just going to edit up this video and sign off for the day. And yeah. And
Hey guys.
he's all dressed up, ready to go on his rape date. And yeah, he's going to try and get some poontang on a Saturday night.
Wet me dick,
Yeah?
Yeah.
No children were harmed in the making of this video. Anyway, so I'm going to put this together and tune in tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if I crack you up or if I anger you or if my fat, red, decrepit presence is of no interest to you. Subscribe anyway. Tell your friends and family about me. Until the next video, I will see you